Poor bike. Just 10 more blocks to the set.
Poor bike indeed. Welcome back to Let's Lore episode 3 of Transistor. Last time we went forward and went against all of the Transistor's advice and headed towards our attackers that we now know, known as the two-bit pieces of trash, the Camerata. And yeah, we're here to fight the process and head towards the empty set. Got a nice little bit of lore in there. And we got access to the access point. So, this time we'll be continuing on towards the empty set to see if any of the Camerata will still be there. So, we're going to continue onwards. And we've got some process hanging out here, so we better be careful here. Maybe we can walk in a little. They did feed us here, so... And also last time we got access, or not access, but we met the first of the upgraded process, which was the jerk number 2. This time, the creep has been upgraded to be a creep number 2, which is going to be a problem going forward. As you can see, my bridge is doing considerably more damage since I've augmented it with mask. So I'm going to use that to take out this creep here.
Maybe not.
Goodbye. Goodbye, creep. And then we have another creep here. So let's jaunt over here, stab him, and then hit him with that. And then let's try to hit these two with a spark while we'll still here. Good. Goodbye creep, and goodbye bat cells. Now we only got 1 left. 2 left actually. Let's line this up, see if we can get breach over here. And then that's never mind, this bat cell decided to run away.
They were waiting.
But now it's done.
Thought we make it time too.
Welcome to Goldwalk. So they were waiting for us to come here. They predicted that Red wanted to come and take revenge on the Camerata. So, welcome to Goldwalk. Over here is a little bit of
Not a soul.
lore.
Hardly recognize this place without the foot traffic.
Yeah, so from what we've gathered so far from Cloudbank is that it's a pretty big city and bustling. Apparently this place used to be big and full of people in here. Yeah, here's a little new mechanic. It's not really a mechanic, it's more like just something you can do while you're walking around. Just breaks up the more stiff walking cycle in favor of prancing around. So, there's no OVC terminal over here. Now, you might see these small glitches through the game. Those are players that have previously played the game. Oh wait, no, was this me? No, it's probably someone else. But there are ways that Transistor actually tracks other players' progress, and you can see it in your own game. Kind of like Dark Souls-y, but not really Dark Souls, because it's not a Dark Souls video game, it's this one.
Must be starving.
Oh, and this we have a terminal for the Junction Jans, which is apparently selling circular bread. Apparently called flatbread. Yeah, it's this universe's version of pizza. I can spoil that for you.
Sea monster's really the only choice here.
Yeah. If you choose any other option other than Sea Monster, it will not deliver it. And so, it'll say it's not in stock. So,
yes.
Let's go with Sea Monster.
Just have to get back to your place before it gets cold.
In 0.8 minutes. That's actually a very good time for pizza.
They're hungry too.
But we're trapped now. We've got some new process. these are called weeds. These will basically heal any process that come in contact with them. Other than that, if you go into the circle here, you'll take damage. Little circle here. So what's the best idea to do is basically just to take out the creeps or the take out the other process before dealing with the weeds, because the weeds alone can't really do anything. So goodbye creep, and we can sort that cell, and yeah, they basically can't do anything if you take them out with a ranged attack, so you're just sitting here doing nothing.
Left ourselves open.
It's a little bit of extra experience for us. But ambushed for seafood flatbread is actually pretty good. Now, function files updated. Now, this is where it gets interesting, if you're into the lore of this. Now, welcome to the access point again. Now, we have a new idea. Every time you, use the different functions in different ways, you can get different lore files. You can inspect it to,
more than just a name to them now.
Yeah, here's a little bit of lore about Red, and I'll read these off at the end of the video just so I don't break up the pace of the gameplay. But I feel like they're very much worth it to keep track of, so I'll keep track of them at the end of each video, just so we keep up with every character, because every function here is a character. For example, Crash is Red. And then, as you use the different functions in more and more different slots, like for example the upgrade slot and another slot that we haven't gotten access to yet, you get more and more lore tidbits until you finally come to the conclusion of their story bit. Now you can also see the little bit more details. Again, a little bit Dark Soulsy. You can see the global rate at how many people use this ability. 66% of people use this in an active slot, 18% in a upgrade slot, and I haven't, of course, used it in an upgrade slot at all, because I feel like Crash is too valuable of an ability to just not use in an active slot. Is like it starts a combo, and it's I don't know, I feel like it's very great, and it doesn't have a lot of menu usage as well. And then you can you have an overview of what happens if you would combine Crash with different functions that you have access to already. So we can also go onward to
the
Breach.
hopefully not permanent address of Mr. Nobody.
Yeah, so this is where it gets a little bit interesting as well in terms of lore. Subject not found. Error. Subject background data corrupted during integration. Reason unknown. So this is Breach. We'll get a little bit of lore about this, but it's interesting that that this subject is we got this ability when we pulled the sword out of the man, if you remember back in the start of the game. So this is presumably subject unknown, or as people call him, Mr. Nobody. I won't really reference him as much. If anything, I'll just call him the Transistor, because that's what his role in the game is. He's the voice that guides you throughout the game. The narrator looking Cunningham's voice. So yeah, you get some more details. Also how much base damage it does. It's fun to compare it if you're really geek into that. Of course, I use it 100% of the time because I really like Breach. Some people use it in an upgrade slot because it speeds up a lot of different functions. Now let's see. Jaunt, yeah. Jaunt is pressed.
Joyriding one night and never came back.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep getting interrupted by Mr. Nobody's voice there. Yeah, it's also interesting. Yeah, I'll do these in neon slates, but they're really interesting. Right, so let's move onward then. Do we actually want to change something up? No, I don't. But now we can go into the gold channel.
That's a first.
It's another,
This can't be the
yeah, it's another optional area here. And it's been completely processed, so we've got to clear this place. Now these things, we'll get access to them soon, but this is a little bit of a sneak peek on them. These are called load, or packets, or actually, yeah, they're just called packets. You can, they basically explode a lot of things. So, when you, for example, crash it, then boom,
Back for more.
explosions happen. Now we have to deal with another jerk. So, let's do this. Just backstab him twice.
Let's go. Do your worst, pal.
So you don't completely destroy him.
They're fixing the big guy.
Indeed, they are fixing the big guy. So, what I'll do is in this case, because it's a big guy, I think I'll just, it's a jerk, I'll just use these packets to get rid of the, weeds, and just, yeah, deal with that here, just so he doesn't heal off a bit, and he becomes really annoying. So let's do that, and they explode. Oh, but the packets also just hit the jerk, which killed it. That was an accident, but
All quiet.
a happy little accident. There's our use level 3 achieved. See, here we can get the load, which forms the packets, which in the upgrade slots it increases the area effect of most functions. Number 2 is switch, which like does what it looks like. It switches allegiance. Like you can take over a process and make it fight for you. Personally, I don't find that very good. Like I can see some uses for it. I've used it a little bit in the past, but it's not my favorite. So I'll just stick with load, and then we can use that in one an access point coming up, and there's nothing this way. But this is it used to be a
Jerk was hiding in here.
kiosk, so
Whatever here is.
yeah, so we can see the destruction that the process causes, just making everything white and just devoid of personality. Now we can use load. Let me see, where would I use this? I think I'll use it in Spark. Select function, max damage increases, splash radius. I don't really like making crash, upgrading crash. That seems like my just setup ability. So it synergizes very well with Spark, so I think I'll just install that upgrade there. Let me see. No, it's fine.
Load it up.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and then now there's an initial explosion plus the additional explosions, so that's good for AoE. Now what's over here in this OVC
They're saying
terminal?
everyone up and left. Nothing to see here.
Evacuations. That explains why so many people have left. But Emilia Gaber. That's interesting, and again up here it mentions Preston Moyle, how he disappeared and stuff. So it's very interesting.
Admin's just towing the line.
Northwest quadrant. The northwestern quadrant of Cloudbank remains offline pending investigation, OPI. Authorities are downplaying any connections between their investigation and recent disappearances. And Chief Investigator Walter Neese praised the work of the 18th Precinct charged with this task. This is the most thorough procedure ever conducted on my watch, said Mr. Neese. Presently, there is no estimate for when Goldwalk citizens will be able to return home. Post comment, I think we will.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah, so you can see that Red sometimes is more diplomatic in terms of how she words her comments. So it's nice seeing her delete something and then come back again. You never get any responses to these comments, by the way. They don't affect anything. That's... I don't know if it's a gripe, but it's... I guess it's a gripe in general with the two recent Supergiant games. Is that they are very linear. They don't have any choice, if any. I mean, Bastion had a few choices, but... Transistor hardly has any. So... yeah, it doesn't matter if you comment on something or not, but hopefully Pyre will fix that. I don't know if that's a good... I like my games sort of linear. It's nice with a bit of story like this, and knowing where to go. Let's go up
Out of the channel in record time.
Walk Plaza.
8 blocks off. Almost there.
Indeed. We have used a lot of time here, so let's go into another fight. Indeed, call them weeds. So this is where you, if you hadn't gone off the beaten path, those last two fights have been non-quiet fights. This is where you'll be introduced to weeds, and here comes their friends. Let's jaunt over here. Crash.
Hit it.
Breach. This is probably not that good because it's just they're just gonna get healed off by the weeds. Maybe I should kill the weeds before I should change up my tactics. Because I can really get a proper backstab in there. So let's just. Oh, I already crashed. Okay, let's hit that. Hit that. Okay, that didn't hit somehow. Okay, I'm having more trouble with this fight than I anticipated. So, let's go over here, crash this, crash that, hit that, another one. Stab. Okay, get these cells, dodge a little bit of the creep, and then just whoop, go behind them, finish them off. Backstab damage coming in handy. I didn't expect me to have that much trouble there, but you know, works. Like every time you, I guess I'll demonstrate it again. Like
they got that
load now has a.
Figured he retired.
Yeah. Yeah. When you use it in more different slots, it doesn't matter like in which order you use these in. It's just gonna progressively get more and more pieces of the story, of which there are 3 for each different function.
Get ready to get jumped.
So let's pass through.
Or not. Let's not stick around.
It's not a trap yet. Because this, no, down here, a little bit of water.
Wish we could just sit and watch the world go by.
Yeah, no, but we've got a job to do, Mr. Sword Buddy. So, let's continue. Now,
this time.
yes, enter the cheerleader. Cheerleaders protect the process, which is often accompanied with all the time. So you have to take. This time you definitely have to check out the cheerleader first before you hit any of its accomplices. So you're just gonna hit this, kill it, and hit that creep. And now to mop up indeed. So now we're just a sitting duck here. I can go over here, stab that one.
That's right.
Grab its cell. These packages are for like more creative fighting if you wanted to do that. I'm just gonna do the brute force way. Just stab them. A combo.
I guess we're done.
And there we go. Indeed we are done here. And now the packets explode for some reason. I mean, it's so you can't set up more. So we're heading towards the amphitheater. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. I'm not English is not my native language. And we're heading towards the empty set, the one popular music venue. I am, because we're heading this way.
Here we are.
Indeed we are. So, we reached the empty set. We've done a lot today. And we're progressing towards finding the Camerata and bringing them to justice and stopping the process. So, I think we'll end this off. Next time, we will hopefully find some trace of the Camerata and where they went, and hopefully defeat more of the process. I'm trying so hard to keep in spoilers, but yeah. See you guys then. Red. Age 27. Gender female. Selections music, linguistics. Recent cited, declined. Trace status intact. Background. Ranked in the top percentile of Cloudbank's contemporary performing artists for 5 years, Red demonstrated early interest in music despite studying at Traverson Hall. Traverson groomed many of the city's most ambitious civic planners, though Red spent the majority of her time developing the Academy's nascent arts program. It was the first on record to select 2 non-traditional disciplines. Records indicate she was reluctant to explain, citing personal reasons. She remained reticent even after gaining the spotlight, and when asked about her past and influences, would often say her work spoke for itself. She did admit, however, that she never wrote her music with the intent to stir controversy. Subject not found. Age unknown. Gender unknown. Selections declined. Recent cited, still figuring things out. Trace status non-recoverable. Background error. Subject background data corrupted during integration. Reason unknown. Lillian Platt. Age 33. Gender female. Selections physics. Negotiation. Recent cited problem solving. Trace status integrated. Background. One of the most preeminent scientific minds in Cloudbank, Miss Lillian Platt, was the youngest ever individual to be elected as chairwoman of the OVC board. Under her leadership, the number of OVC terminals in Cloudbank more than doubled, and the quality of the broadcast strengthened more than fourfold. However, she then became the youngest ever individual to leave the post, as she tendered a resignation in less than 2 years to pursue extracurricular interests. In private conversations, several of her former colleagues indicated that Miss Platt left following the sudden disappearance of a close personal friend, Mr. Maximilius Darcy, who, according to OVC transcript, decided one day to move on to the country. Preston Moyle. Age 29. Gender male. Selections reflexes machinery. Recent cited I want to go fast and go far. Trace status integrated. Background. Cloudbank's racing circuit never knew the likes of Preston Moyle, who shattered speed records with aplomb for 4 years straight. Credited with popularizing the sport of 1/200 cc racing, Mr. Moyle gained celebrity not merely for his exceptional riding ability, but also because he built his motorbikes with his own hands. Ever the thrill seeker, Mr. Moyle became known for seeking out Cloudbank's remotest strips of road. Then, one day, Mr. Moyle was altogether gone. having left all of his personal effects behind, save for his fastest bike. Shomar Schasberg. Age 29. Gender male. Selections trickery, comedy. Reasons cited: everybody wears a mask, right? Trace status integrated. Background. Considered the most elusive entertainer in Cloudbank by 12% of the population, Mr. Shomar Schasberg earned his reputation through numerous absurd public pranks and other daring or ill-advised feats. Thus he earned the nickname The Magician from his many thousands of fans, and enjoyed executing highly unusual, unscheduled performances in Cloudbank's most bustling neighborhoods. His acts grew more ambitious over time, culminating in his promise to skydrop into a restricted region of Goldwalk and walk right out, escaping administrative detection. Wave Tennigan. Age 40. Gender male. Selections awareness, debate. Reasons cited: big ideas, that's why. Trace status integrated. Background. Mr. Wave Tennigan traded the quiet life of a sanctuary vicar to become one of Cloudbank's biggest alternative broadcast personalities for its distinct blend of good-natured mannerisms and incisive social commentary. Straddling the generational boundary between the old guard and the new, Mr. Tennigan offered a canny perspective on the many factors influencing the city's evolution. But during one of his many meet and greet events with his listeners, he met a group of individuals who would forever change the course of his life.